Hey guys, have you ever wondered what subtle things you can do to make a woman feel an undeniable attraction to you? What if I told you there are 12 simple moves you can do with your body that will drive her wild without saying a word? Yes, that's right. There are certain gestures, stances, and movements that instantly amplify your masculinity and trigger her deep desire. Let's get into it, because you're about to unlock the secrets to becoming absolutely irresistible. So, let's break this down and really dive deep into the moves that men do with their bodies that women find absolutely irresistible. These aren't complicated or out-of-reach gestures. They're things you can start doing today, naturally with confidence. The key here is tapping into your masculinity and understanding how the law of polarity works between men and women. It's about embodying those masculine traits that on a subconscious level stir something deep within her, making her feel drawn to you without her even realizing why. Let's start with the first move, running your hand through your hair. You might think, is that it? How can something so simple make such an impact? But trust me, it does. Think about it. You're standing there talking to her, maybe even lost in thought, and then, out of nowhere, you casually run your hand through your hair. There's something about this gesture that shows a level of self-care and comfort in your own skin. It's like you're not even thinking about it. It's just a natural movement that shows confidence. It also draws her attention to your face and frames it in a way that's, quite frankly, sexy. Whether you've got a full head of hair or you're bald, the effect is the same. When you rub your hand over your head, it signals self-awareness, and women love that. It's a subtle display of masculinity, and it works every time. Now let's talk about stroking your jawline or beard. This one is an absolute classic. Men with beards already have a bit of an edge, let's be honest. There's something primal about facial hair that signals strength, maturity, and wisdom. But even if you're clean-shaven, gently running your fingers along your jawline while you're deep in conversation with her shows thoughtfulness and draws attention to one of the most masculine parts of your face, your jaw. A strong jawline is attractive to women because it signals strength and health. When you accentuate it by stroking it or gently running your hand across your beard, it's like you're sending out a signal that says, "I'm a man who knows what I'm about." And trust me, she's paying attention, but we're just getting started. The next move is one that taps into a playful teasing dynamic, and it's tilting your head slightly and raising an eyebrow. This one is all about showing amusement or intrigue in a way that's subtle yet incredibly powerful. When you tilt your head and raise an eyebrow, it's as if you're saying, "I'm curious about you, but I've got something else on my mind too." It's teasing, it's playful, and it makes her wonder what's going on in your head. A slight shake of the head in mock disapproval adds another layer to this move. It shows that you're engaged in the moment, but also that you're in control. Women love a man who can be both serious and playful, who knows when to be commanding, but also when to let his guard down and have fun. This move strikes that perfect balance. Next up is a power move that you can pull off while sitting back and relaxing. It's leaning back with your hands behind your head. This is such a simple yet dominant gesture. It not only shows that you're relaxed and confident, but it also naturally draws attention to your arms, chest, and shoulders, parts of your body that women are instinctively attracted to. When you lean back and expose your upper body, you're demonstrating a level of comfort with yourself and your environment. You're saying without words, "I'm in control here, I've got this." And when you combine that with a look of amusement, like you know something she doesn't, it adds an air of mystery that's irresistible. She'll want to know what's on your mind, and she'll be drawn to your energy. Now, this next move is all about eye contact. Look at her without constraint. Let your gaze linger on her as if you're thinking about something secret, something intimate. This is bold, guys, but bold is what works. Women are incredibly attuned to eye contact, and when you hold her gaze just a little longer than usual, it sends a powerful message. It says, "I see you. I'm interested in you." And if you add in a slight smirk or a glint of mischief in your eyes, it'll drive her crazy in the best way possible. There's nothing more seductive than a man who's not afraid to show desire through his eyes. It's intimate, it's direct, and it lets her know exactly where you stand. She'll feel seen and wanted, and that's an incredibly powerful combination. That leads us to nodding at her approvingly while checking her out. This move is so simple, but it works wonders. When you nod at her, especially after you've let your eyes roam from her head to her toes, or vice versa, you're giving her a non-verbal compliment. You're saying, "I like what I see." It's a sign of appreciation, and it makes her feel desired. But it's also important to be subtle with this one. You don't want to come across as creepy or overly aggressive. The key is confidence. You're not leering at her, you're appreciating her beauty, and you're doing it in a way that's controlled and self-assured. She'll pick up on that energy, and it'll make her feel even more attracted to you. Now, here's where things start to get a little more physical. Lift something heavy. This might sound obvious, but it's one of the most primal signals of masculinity. Women are hardwired to be attracted to physical strength, and when you demonstrate that strength in front of her, whether it's lifting something heavy or doing a physically demanding task, it's an instant turn on. It shows that you're capable, that you can protect her, and that you're in control of your environment. And let's be real, who doesn't like the idea of showing off a little? If you're moving furniture, picking up boxes, or even just doing something that requires physical effort, let her see it. She'll be impressed, and it might just tip the scales in your favor if she's on the fence about her attraction to you. Speaking of physicality, this next move is all about intimacy and protection. Pull her toward you, or wrap your arms around her from behind. There's something incredibly comforting and seductive about this gesture. When you pull her close or wrap your arms around her, you're showing her that she's safe with you, that you're strong enough to protect her, and that you want to be close to her. This move is intimate, but it's also powerful because it creates a physical connection that's hard to resist. Women love to feel protected, and when you pull her into your arms, it sends a clear message: "I've got you." And trust me, she'll love it. All right, let's keep this going. We're getting into the heart of what really works, and as you can see, each of these moves builds on the last. It's all about showing your confidence, strength, and masculine energy, all while making her feel safe, intrigued, and desired. Now let's move on to the next one, taking her hand, giving it a squeeze, and leading her somewhere. This one is subtle, but incredibly powerful. Why? Because it's about leadership. Women love a man who can take charge, but in a way that's respectful and considerate. By simply taking her hand and leading her, whether it's across a street, through a crowd, or even just from one room to another, you're showing her that you know where you're going, and you're confident enough to bring her along with you. It's a physical representation of guidance, and it taps into the idea that women want to feel cared for and led by a man who's in control. But there's another layer to this. When you take her hand and squeeze it, you're creating a moment of connection, a small but intimate gesture that says, "I'm here with you." It's reassuring, and it creates a bond, even if it's just for that brief moment. What's even more interesting is the fact that men naturally have stronger hands than women. Your grip strength is about 30% greater than hers, and that subtle difference plays a big role in how she perceives you. When she feels the strength in your hand, it triggers a response. She feels feminine, she feels cared for, and she feels safe. It's one of those things that happens almost subconsciously, but it's incredibly effective. Next up is a move that will make her swoon, and I mean that literally. Hold her face in your hands and look deeply into her eyes before you kiss her. Now this one is all about control and intimacy. When you place your hands on her face, you're showing her that you're fully present in the moment, that your attention is completely on her. It's a gesture that says, right now, nothing else matters but you. And when you look deeply into her eyes, you're creating a connection that goes beyond the physical. This is one of those moves that can be incredibly powerful if done right. The key is to hold her gaze for just a moment longer than what feels comfortable. That slight tension builds anticipation, and by the time you move in for the kiss, she's already been pulled into the moment. The act of holding her face also shows that you're in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself, and by extension, a little bit of her too. Women love a man who can take charge in this way, especially in intimate moments. It shows confidence, strength, and emotional depth. So next time you're about to kiss her, don't just dive in. Take a second, hold her face, look into her eyes, and let that tension build. She'll be melting before you even make contact. Now let's talk about a move that's a little more bold, but trust me, if she's into you, she'll love it. Box her in against a wall. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds a little aggressive, right? But hear me out. When done correctly, this move taps into something primal, something deep within her that responds to masculine energy. By placing one arm against the wall next to her, or even two arms if you're feeling confident, you're creating a physical boundary that makes her feel vulnerable in the best possible way. She'll feel your presence, your strength, and she'll know that you're fully in control of the situation. But here's the thing, this only works if she's already attracted to you. If there's no attraction, this move can come across as intimidating, so you need to be sure that the vibe is right before you try it. But if she's into you, she'll find it incredibly seductive. Why? Because it amplifies the masculine-feminine dynamic in a very physical way. When you box her in, you're saying, without words, I'm in charge here, and I've got you. It's protective, it's strong, and it creates a sense of intimacy that's hard to resist. Just remember to lean in close, but not too close. Leave a little bit of space so that the tension can build. The goal is to make her feel like you're in control, but not to overwhelm her. If you pull this off, she'll be thinking about that moment for a long time. All right, we're moving on to one of the most exciting parts now. Toss her on the bed and take control in the bedroom. Now, obviously, this is a move for when you're already at that intimate stage with her, but when the moment is right, nothing sends a stronger message of confidence and masculine energy than taking the lead in the bedroom. Women want to feel desired, they want to feel like you're in control, and when you toss her on the bed with just the right amount of playful aggression, it's a signal that you're not afraid to take charge. But here's the key. It has to be done with care and attention to her needs. This isn't about overpowering her. It's about creating a dynamic where she feels safe, desired, and ready to submit to your leadership in that moment. It's about setting the tone for the encounter, showing her that you know what you want and that you're confident enough to go after it. When you take control like this, it creates a sense of trust because she knows that you're aware of her needs and desires too. So don't be afraid to take the lead in these intimate moments. It's what she's craving. Now, before we wrap up the list of irresistible moves, let's talk about something that can ruin all of your efforts if you're not careful: slouching. Guys, I can't stress this enough. If you're spending hours hunched over your computer or gaming console, you're setting yourself up for one of the biggest turnoffs for women. Slouching makes you look lazy, uninterested, and unconfident. It sends all the wrong signals, and it can undo all the good work you've done with the moves we've talked about so far. When you slouch, you're not only making yourself look physically smaller, but you're also conveying a lack of care about yourself and your environment. Women pick up on these subtle cues, and slouching is a surefire way to lose attraction points. So, if you're guilty of this, it's time to start fixing your posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, and walk with purpose. Good posture not only makes you look more confident and capable, but it also makes you feel that way. And trust me, when you feel confident, she'll notice it too. All right, we're almost at the finish line with these irresistible moves, but we still have a few more important points to cover. If you've been following along, you're probably noticing a theme here. It's all about confidence, control, and making her feel both desired and safe in your presence. These are powerful, primal triggers that tap into the masculine-feminine polarity I mentioned earlier. So let's dive into a few more moves that will seal the deal and make you absolutely unforgettable. Let's talk about one of my personal favorites, and trust me, this one is guaranteed to turn heads: reversing into a parking spot using the old-fashioned method. Now, I know this sounds like a strange move to include on a list like this, but hear me out. There's something incredibly masculine about backing up your car with precision, one hand on the steering wheel, the other casually resting on the back of her seat. When you do this, you're not just showing off your driving skills, you're showcasing a kind of control and spatial awareness that women find deeply attractive. Think about it. Men and women approach tasks like driving differently. Whether it's due to nature or nurture, men typically have a better sense of spatial awareness, which means you can handle a car in a way that feels almost instinctive. And when you reverse into that parking spot, you're showing her that you know how to navigate the world around you with confidence. You're also demonstrating your ability to take control in a calm, focused manner. It's subtle, but trust me, when you do this right, it's incredibly sexy. And while you're at it, if you're feeling bold, add a little flair by grazing her neck or shoulder with your hand while you reverse. That slight, almost accidental touch will send chills down her spine. It's the perfect blend of skill and seduction, handling the car with one hand while making her feel just a little bit more aware of you with the other. Women love it when a man is in control without making it seem like he's trying too hard, and this move is a perfect example of that balance. Plus, who doesn't love a little playful touch that makes her feel noticed and desired? Now let's not forget about a move that might seem small but has a big impact. Driving with just one hand. Yep, just one hand on the wheel while you cruise down the road. There's something so effortlessly cool about this gesture. When you drive with one hand, you're showing that you're relaxed, confident, and in complete control of the situation. It's a move that communicates, "I've got this." And when you combine that with the occasional glance in her direction or a small smile, it creates a powerful dynamic of both confidence and intrigue. Women notice these little things, and driving with one hand is a subtle but powerful display of your masculinity. It's almost as if you're saying, "I'm so good at this, I don't even need to try." And trust me, that relaxed confidence is irresistible. It shows that you're comfortable in your own skin, that you're not trying too hard to impress her, but at the same time, you are impressing her because she's picking up on the fact that you know exactly what you're doing. Add in a little bit of conversation or some light banter while you drive, and she'll be completely drawn to you, hanging on to every word. But we're not done yet. Let's circle back to one of the earlier points and give it a deeper dive. Lifting something heavy. This might seem like one of the more obvious moves, but there's a reason it works so well. Strength is one of the most primal indicators of masculinity. And when you demonstrate your physical strength, even in subtle ways, it's like flipping a switch in her brain that says, "This man is capable." Whether it's moving a heavy object, carrying something for her, or even picking her up for a playful twirl, it signals that you're strong and reliable. Now, the key here is not to show off. Don't make it look like you're lifting something just to impress her. Instead, let it come naturally. If you're helping her carry something heavy, or even if you're just lifting weights at the gym while she's nearby, let her see that you're strong without making it seem like you're putting on a show. Women love men who are physically capable, but they also love men who are humble about it. It's the combination of strength and modesty that really hits the mark. When you demonstrate your physical strength, it's not just about the act of lifting or carrying, it's about what that act represents. It shows that you're capable of protecting her, of handling difficult tasks, and of being someone she can rely on. This taps into a deep evolutionary need for women to feel safe and secure with the man they're attracted to. So the next time you're in a situation where you can demonstrate your strength, don't hesitate. Pick up that heavy object, or even better, sweep her off her feet, literally. She'll love it. Now, speaking of making her feel safe, let's talk about the power of physical closeness. We touched on this earlier, but I want to dive deeper into the idea of wrapping your arms around her from behind. This is one of the most intimate yet protective gestures you can make. When you pull her into your arms from behind, you're not just showing her affection, you're also signaling that you're her protector. You're enveloping her in your strength, letting her know that she can lean on you, both physically and emotionally. This gesture is incredibly seductive because it combines strength with tenderness. It shows that you're not just about brute force, you're also about connection and care. And trust me, women respond to this in a big way. When you wrap your arms around her, you're creating a cocoon of safety, a moment where it's just the two of you and nothing else matters. She'll feel secure, cherished, and deeply connected to you. But here's the secret to making this move even more effective. It's all about timing. Don't just randomly wrap your arms around her. Wait for a quiet moment when the two of you are alone, maybe when she's not expecting it. The element of surprise adds to the intimacy of the gesture, and it makes the moment feel even more special. You're showing her that you're not only strong and protective, but that you're also attuned to her emotions and the energy of the moment. That's what makes this move so powerful. All right, let's dive into the last few points and really bring this home. These moves are all about establishing a deep connection through physical presence and subtle body language. And the next one is no exception. We've already talked about physical strength and closeness, but this move takes it to the next level. Take her hand, give it a squeeze, and lead her somewhere. Now, at first glance, this might seem like a simple, even everyday gesture, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal when it comes to showing masculine energy and leadership. When you take her hand and gently guide her, whether it's through a crowd, across the street, or into a room, you're not just holding her hand, you're making a statement. You're saying, "I'm here, I'm leading, and I want you to follow me." That confidence, that quiet assumption of leadership, is incredibly attractive. Women are drawn to men who can take the reins in a situation. But it's important to note that this isn't about dominance in a negative way. It's about guiding her, not controlling her. Think about it. When you take her hand, you're creating a bond of trust. She's letting you lead, and in return, she feels protected and cared for. That simple squeeze of her hand, it's a physical reminder that you're aware of her presence and that you're taking responsibility for her, even if it's just for those few moments. This subtle gesture of protection and leadership taps into a deep-rooted desire in women to feel safe with the man they're with. And here's the kicker. Most men overlook this small but significant move. So next time you're walking with her, don't just let her wander on her own. Reach out, take her hand, and guide her with purpose. She'll feel the connection instantly. Now, we're nearing the final few moves, but these last ones are perhaps the most intimate. One that is guaranteed to make her swoon is when you hold her face in your hands and look deeply into her eyes before kissing her. Now, this is a classic move, but it works every single time. Why? Because it's not just about the kiss, it's about the anticipation. When you place your hands on her face, you're creating a moment of intimacy that goes beyond the physical. You're telling her, with your touch and your gaze, that she's the only thing that matters in that moment. The beauty of this move is that it requires you to be fully present. There's no rushing into it. Instead, you hold her face gently, look into her eyes for just a second longer than what feels comfortable, and then lean in for the kiss. That moment of hesitation, that brief pause before the kiss, is what makes her heart race. It builds anticipation, creates tension, and pulls her into the moment in a way that's unforgettable. Women love men who can take their time, who can savor the moment, and who can make her feel like she's the only person in the room. This move does all of that and more. But remember, confidence is key. When you hold her face, don't be timid about it. Be gentle, yes, but also be sure. Let her feel your strength and your intention. This move is about control, but it's also about care. You're showing her that you're in charge, but you're also showing her that you value her enough to make this moment special. And trust me, she'll feel it. It's these small moments of connection that build deeper attraction over time. And once you master this, she won't be able to get enough. Speaking of moments where she won't be able to resist you, let's talk about boxing her in against a wall. Now, I know this sounds bold, and it is, but it's one of the most powerful moves you can make if she's already attracted to you. This is all about creating tension and intimacy in a way that taps into her desire for protection and excitement. When you place one arm against the wall near her head and lean in close, you're creating a physical barrier that makes her feel both vulnerable and safe at the same time. It's a move that amplifies the masculine-feminine dynamic to its fullest. The key to pulling this off is reading the situation. If she's already showing signs of attraction, this move will make her pulse race. But you have to be confident. Any hesitation will ruin the moment. When you box her in, lean in just close enough that she can feel your presence, but not so close that it's overwhelming. It's about creating tension, not suffocating her. Let her feel the heat of the moment and let that tension build naturally. You're not just a man standing in front of her. You're the man who's in control of the situation, and that's what she'll find irresistible. And here's the best part. When you're this close, you don't even need to say anything. Your presence does all the talking. You can just look at her, maybe with a slight smirk, like you know something she doesn't. That air of mystery combined with the physical closeness will drive her wild. It's the perfect balance of masculine strength and emotional connection, and it's one of the most seductive things you can do. Now, to wrap up this list of seductive moves, let's talk about the ultimate display of masculine confidence: tossing her on the bed and taking control in the bedroom. Now, I'm talking about when you're at that point where the attraction is undeniable and the two of you are ready to take things to the next level. This move is all about confidence and control. When you playfully toss her on the bed, you're showing her that you're not afraid to take charge and that you know exactly what you want. But as with everything else, this move is about balance. You want to be assertive, but not aggressive. You want her to feel your strength, but also your care. It's about creating a moment where she can feel your desire for her without feeling overwhelmed. When done right, this move will make her feel desired, cherished, and excited all at once. It's the perfect culmination of everything we've talked about: masculine confidence, physical presence, and emotional connection. And there you have it, guys. 12 simple body moves that drive women wild. Each one of these moves taps into the primal dynamic of masculine and feminine energy, amplifying your presence and making her feel more attracted to you without you even needing to say a word.